Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheering crowd at the push of a button. Good morning, everybody. Good morning on this hump day, July the 18th. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. With no further ado, drink it if you got it. And I got it today. If at first you don't succeed, try doing what Mitch told you to do in the first place or the first time. I love it. I love it. That is my first sip of coffee this morning. Up and up, I watched Kilts. Bought the urge to have that cup of coffee until right now. Makes it that much better. Well, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody here this morning. As the blues band hits the road, walks out the door, fades out in the distance. We get started. We get started. Wow, good to be here. Good to be here. I always look forward to this. And the countdown, first thing in the morning, highlight of my day. I say that every day, and I really mean it. Good to see you all. Everybody's pouring in already. Look at it. We got 65 of you here so far. That's a very good start. Very good start. Well, it is living up to the billing this morning. It is very sunny outside and forecast to remain that way all day. High of 89 degrees here in Melbourne. Maybe not as hot as a lot of places. So we get maybe the best of both worlds. We get the sea breezes, and they actually cool things down in the summertime. So looking forward to a good day, to a glorious day to wrap up. That's it. Wrap up this week. Can't believe it. Wrap up this week of Morning Coffee with Mitch, which started last Sunday, and tomorrow it's supposedly my day off. Now, do I take a day off or do I just work my butt off? Well, usually just work my butt off, but it gives Rick a chance to come on. Music, you want this? There you go. And do his thing. Saturday morning. So I'll probably be popping in and out of that stream. Of course, I enjoy Rick. I'm reading it here. Rick says, Mitch never takes a day off. No, I really don't. I don't know what I do. What would I do on a day off? Go to the store. That doesn't take but 20 minutes. No. Lori Weitzel says, question, how was the private stream? And don't forget to get rid of the banner. Lori, what would I do without you, sweetie? Okay. First order of business. Everybody is welcomed. So let's get rid of that. Like magic. And the live stream was great last night. We had a good time. We had a great time. A lot of the new people were there who got the free gifted memberships. And Francine Bourgeois checked in on camera this time. That was a real pleasure. She's a very smart lady. She's a very smart woman. And thank you, Francine, for being there last night. Tina Schweikerath, as usual, was there. Gregory Smith, live from trucking in Southern California, was with us. Peter chimed in with us. Stephen Albach was there. I know I may have missed one or two, but I'm trying to rattle them off the top of my head. If I missed you, I apologize. We had a good panel up to 7 people at one time, and a pretty active chat. So I think that it's growing and getting busier, and I think people are enjoying it. The only problem for me, by the nighttime, I'm usually pretty tired. And it's getting better, though. It's getting better gradually, but that's just is now. I do it. I have fun doing it. But boy, after yet another hour and a half of talking, although I'm aided by the panel, I'm pretty well wasted. Hopefully, and I'm sure my late day energy will improve, just like my morning energy improves every day. Little bit every day. You can tell when I'm kind of depleted by my speech. And that's if you know what to listen for, that's probably a giveaway. I can't do anything about that. Only try the best I can to enunciate clearly and be aware of if I start to slur certain words, slow down, pronounce them more carefully. But for a guy who lives alone, has nobody basically to talk to all day, I do one hell of a lot of talking before the day's out and start right here at 8:30 in the morning talking to my friends every day. So we're here. We are here. Let me say hi to the early birds first, then I'll get into some show notes and things I might want to tell you about that I thought were kind of absurd, because that's kind of how it works. All day long, I observe complete and utter absurdities that may go over a lot of people's heads, although I don't think they go over our heads. But we're a very small and rare group of people who are able to recognize BS when it hits them in the face and quickly determine the motives. In other words, who's getting rich because it is BS. And yesterday, an example of this came up on the national news that had me going, I'm sitting watching the TV story going, surely you can't be serious. And no, I'm not calling you Shirley. The airplane movie reference that's always stated whenever anybody says, surely. It's funny, though. It was funny the first time. It's still funny. Honest to God, it's still funny. Excuse me one second. Okay. It's always nice for my customers on the computer side of things that I do. Send me a thank you for the work I did for them yesterday. There's always my Buy Me a Coffee link and my Amazon links. Always appreciate it when you guys help support me and help me out with that. Maybe if I remember a little later, I'll put that link up in the chat. But right now, I want to get on with saying hi and good morning to people. First, last night, and I created this stream last night around 9 o'clock after the live stream was over. I went right from the live stream to creating this. And Meat at Tudes was the first one, says, see you in the morning. I hope you're back. I haven't seen that yet. Rick was here last night, and Mary M was here. Smoothie was here last night, 9:11 p.m. Michael Pregler, the Carnivore Police. How you doing? Good morning. Dad Bud Mitch from beautiful Yorba Linda, California. Never been to Yorba. I may have been through it, though. Been all over California. We have Lizzie here. Good morning, Lizzie. And Wendy the Furrow Grandma, good to see you. And she says, don't forget the likes. Mandy Beddoes is here, waving at Mitch. And she says, see you soon, my extended family. How nice. How nice. Andy's really going to work for me this morning. Sup, she says, and shop Amazon with Mitch. Yes, Mandy. Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you. Graceful Lily was here last night. See you in the morning. Sweet sleep, everyone. And we're still last night. Main Runner chimed in around midnight. Lady June from United Kingdom chimed in. Mike Seeley. Holy cow, Michael. What is that? 3:52 a.m. Wow, wow, wow. Early riser. First one is Mandy Beddoes is back. And she was here at, oh, God, it's hard to read. I got to get into some new glasses. I really have to get some. These, honestly, God, are just, they're too strong. I should be getting worse, but they actually are getting better. Mary M. 543. Good morning, Mary. Pressing my French press. Well, that's close enough to the word coffee. I'll take a sip. Brian Dish was here this morning. Good morning. And Wayne Herman checked in. Good Friday morning to Mitch from Lake Gaston, North Carolina, and friends. Rick chimed in. I was ready that time, Rick. Good morning from Miami. Father, Mike Seeley Sr., father of United Carnivore, sleeps a lot later than his son does, evidently. I think Michael in Tampa's got to get up early to go to work. Peter chimed in. Good morning to you, Peter, at 7:23. And Harry Dion from California. Good morning, Harry. Smoothie chimed in this morning. Rick says 30 minutes ago. Ebony Talks is here. Hi, Ebony. How are you? Morning, Mr. Mitch. Mr. Mitch. I like that. Alvin Kim, a new one. I haven't seen that name before. Welcome, Alvin. Welcome. Good to see you. We always like to see some fresh blood, some new people in here, especially brand new carnivores. Day 11 on Carnivore. Lifelong eczema since birth is healing. The war was long. It's going to end. Alvin, see this elbow? See this elbow? See my forehead all across here? I was plagued with eczema for God knows how many years. It's gone. I still get a tiny little bit of dryness right in here, but the Carnivore has cured that. You're on the right track, my friend. Not only I'd love to see you stick on Carnivore, but I'd love to see you come in and visit us once in a while here in the morning. One of the purposes of this stream is to hear people's stories like that and to support and try to motivate each other in between listening to good old Mitch rant about something absurd and stupid so that other people may start to notice some of those things. They haven't already. Smoothie was here before the bell. Again, Rick, again, Main Runner chimed in this morning. Good morning, Mitch. Got my run done a little earlier today, so I'm here on time. It's a little cooler outside today. Yeah, well, we're not through with the heat yet. We still got August and even September to go. But it's nice when you get a little cold front or something and you get a little cool weather. Take advantage of it. Aaron, how's the family and the chickens? Good morning, Aaron. Good to see you this morning. Oh, who haven't I said hi to? Tina. Tina, good morning, Mitch, and everyone. We enjoyed having Tina. We always do on the live stream last night. It was great. It was great. Steve Rogers. Captain America. Yes. Superhero in the house. Hi, Steve from Kansas City, Missouri. How you doing? Graceful Lily says, wow. Look at all the Graceful Lily says, sitting in my Clover Patches, 5:30 a.m., 8:15 a.m. today went from 9 to 11, 48 degrees Fahrenheit to 52. Wow, wow, wow. Isn't that great? Our heat wave broke up in Canada. Enjoy it while it lasts. I don't think summer's over yet, unfortunately. Rick's doing his own countdown. Smoothie, weather people say we will be back to the 90s tomorrow. There you go. And, you know, we all know how reliable their forecasts are. Claudia Burkick is here. How you doing, Claudia? Good to see you. Good to see you. Mike Prigler is back this morning. And Smoothie and Claudia and Rick, everybody's chiming in at 8:27. Sandy Blythe. Hi, Sandy. Good to see you this morning. How are you? How are you? Tanya is here. Tanya, Kitchen Witch. Kitchen Witch. Happy day in Pennsylvania and outside with my coffee and my Mitch Fits. Said the word coffee again. It's my drinking game. That's not bad. That's the McDonald's McCafe K-Cup decaf. It's not bad. Maybe not the best gourmet cup of coffee, but very nice flavor. I drink it black. Not bitter. Not bitter at all. I really like them. That's my favorite K-Cup coffee, the McCafe. And the decaf almost is exactly in flavor like the regular. And I find I don't need the caffeine. With me, more of a habit now than an addiction. And that's okay as long as the habit isn't too bad for you. I know there's not a lot of caffeine in it. I know that for a fact. But there's a placebo effect there, I think, with me. And the coffee gives me a little kick. At least I'm hoping that there's not a lot of caffeine there, but whatever it is, I'm going to keep doing it because there are things that I enjoy and things that I don't really want to give up if the difference is that's small and maybe even insignificant. Oh, who else is new? Who else is new? Looking at, we're here at 8:29. At 8:29, look at all these people we got at 8:29. Graceful Lillian, David Clooney. How you doing, David? Good to see you. Top of the morning to y'all, he says. And Jeff Johnson at 8:29. The name you know. Jeff is grateful for y'all, and Jeff, we are grateful for you as well. Good to see my friend. Smoothie's here at 8:29, and Judy. Judy was in the private community live stream last night. Good morning, Judy. How are you this morning? Judy says good morning from Michigan, everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you. It was fun last night. I was tired, but it was fun. Still, 8:29, Graceful Lily is waving at everybody. Claudia Burkick is here talking about the weather. Still, 8:29, wow, wow, wow. Here's Meatitudes. And the winner this morning, right on the button at 8:30, is Brian Dish. Brian's getting it figured out. This is not the first time. Congratulations, Brian. You're either lucky or you're plugged into the atomic clock like Google is when it shows me the countdown. And continuing to stab that button at 8:30 is Rick, Mary M., Robbie Autry, one of our previous winners, Lady June, Graceful Lily again, 8:30, Francine Bourgeois. Hi, Francine. That was great. Great to see you last night. Happy Friday to all. From a finally nice and temperate month. I said, enjoy it while it lasts. We're not finished with summer yet. Brian, BMAT, how you doing, Brian? Good morning to you at 8:30. Jennifer, Hip, how are you, Jennifer? Happy Friday to you, too, at 8:30 still. Michael Pregler was here. and Robert Warist. Robert Warist. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. Sent me this cup. This came from you, Robert. I'm able to foretell the future. I knew you were going to be here this morning. I said, you know, it's time for me to use Robert's cup one morning. And I thank you. I think this cup has a great backstory to it. This was the cup that Robert sent me. And arrived the day I had my stroke, and they took me away to the hospital. I wasn't able to get it from the post office, my P.O. box, until I actually started driving in my first little excursion, my first drive in my recovery. When I got in the car and went somewhere, was to the post office. And me and the walker hobbled into the post office and got this cup out of there. And that was a milestone in my stroke recovery. So it's a good story. It never gets old. Never gets old. It's unbelievable. After a lifetime of outstanding and unbelievable things, both good and bad, that have happened to me, that the things that really stick in my mind now are the milestones of a stroke recovery. Have kind of dwarfed everything else in importance. That's life. So thank you, Robert. Thank you. Good to see you. And in the extreme unlikelihood that I got that wrong and you sent me a different cup, it doesn't matter. It was the fact that your cup got here. So thank you. Thank you. But I think I got it right. 8:30. We're still 8:30. Rick says wait. Okay. The Friday live stream begins. Yeah. It began 8:52, 12 minutes ago. No, it began 22 minutes ago. What the hell have I been doing for 22 minutes? Holy cow. How do you guys put up with me? Me Cool Cat is here at 8:30, and the first at 8:31 is Lori Weisel, and we will stop it there. Now, let me just acknowledge Peter once again. Mike Allen, new. Alan Kim said hi to you, said hi to you, said hi to you. Claudia Burkick, who is this? This is Metitudes. You were the first one in last night. Saint Georgie. How you doing, my friend? He's the one who sent me that picture yesterday, if you haven't seen it. Maybe I should get it up here. I should show it to you. Because he sent me this cool meme. It's a very cool meme. And let me find it here. Here it is. Here it is. And I'll show you this one. He sent me an updated version of it that was a little different. It said the lion diet on top. But this one says, this better not be grass-fed, I'm not a cow. I think it's great. I'm going to find someplace to put that somewhere because I really like it. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I like it when you guys send me funny stuff like that. Because of my soirees into the lion diet these days. But welcome to you. And okay, Elizabeth A. I haven't said hi to you. Good morning. Mary M. is here this morning. Anybody else new before I take a break from this? All right, you're starting to just ignore me and talk to yourself about. I don't know what this means. Is the screen low? Am I not sitting up high enough? Is that what you mean? Okay. Unslaughtermich. It's a question from Lori. How was the private stream? Oh, okay, I got that one. Thank you, Lori. Pat Acosta's here. Good morning. And Babs. Hi, Babs. Hey, Mitch. Hey, Babs. Matt Thompson's here. I'm still going to keep hitting Laurie, see, he called me sweetie, and I mean it. I mean it. Yeah, that's. Well, I'm not in a big hurry this morning anyway. I hope all of you aren't. All right, let's get to it now. Let's get to it. Make sure I clear all the chats off the screen. Take a final sip of coffee for a minute. Get to the ever-present show notes. Let's see, what do we got here? Show notes. There we go. Okay, it says you're buying me a coffee. Okay, I will put the link up there because I know you're dying. Dying to do that. Hold on a second. Get this out of the way. Again, I've learned my father was a brilliant man. You don't ask, you don't get. No obligation. Just a thought. There it is. Up. Pin it. And we're done with that for the rest of the stream. Thank you. And if I don't get any, I don't care. I don't care. I don't want anybody to do that unless they really want to. And I mean that. I mean that. It's not a major part of why I do this. It's a small part. Okay, here's the deal. It says it's the Make America Healthy Again movement that we've heard so much about. We have great expectations for Make America Healthy Again. We're going to cure the raging amount of diabetes, heart disease, dementia, all of the major causes of death in this country. Cancer, I think heart disease is number 1. Cancer may be number 2. And coming in at number 3 is mistakes made by medical professionals. Really, third leading cause of death. I think that's absolutely wrong. I think that mistakes made by medical professionals by far are a runaway favorite to be number 1 for the cause of death. Because if not for the medical mistakes and the misinformation that they give their patients, there'd be almost no diabetes or heart disease. Their lack of good nutritional advice to their patients causes what we call the number 1 and 2 cause of death. But as you know, I like to see what's the root cause. What's different now than 200 years ago? When we didn't have heart disease and cancer and diabetes anywhere, who are insignificant. And the answer is the medical community and their advice and their drugs and their practice of their profession is the leading cause of death in this country. And along comes Make America Healthy Again. Maha. Now, listen, at least they put the word health in the public discourse. But so far, it's been 6 months. We're on the way. We are actually on the way to removing food dyes by the end of 2027 from our foods. And that, my friends, so far has been the sum total of the real accomplishments that I've heard about on the news. Now, I don't know what's going on in the back rooms, but that's underwhelming and will have virtually no effect on the health of the Americans because they're not attacking the problem anywhere near the root cause. which is nutrition. And the red dyes may be a little poisonous, but compared to the poison we're eating on their recommendations, it's insignificant in my opinion. But nonetheless, it's become a political thing. And I saw on the news yesterday, a national news story. It was on Fox, and it was about Make America Healthy Again. Did any of you see it? I'm going to keep an eye on the chat here and see if any of you see that yesterday. Do you even remember breaking news, good news about MAHA and everybody, and how far we're coming and how healthy we're all going to be because of this one thing? Did anybody see that? I don't see. You're either not listening to me or you didn't see it. Well, just so happens I have it here for you. I want to play a little bit of it. It was from Fox News. I don't want to get no. I don't think anybody. Either you're not listening to me or you don't know. Okay, I didn't think many people would know what it was, because I happened to catch it yesterday. But let's go over here. And you ready? Don't laugh too hard or get too upset at this. But the headline was, Trump's plan to make Coca-Cola great again. Oh, we've done it, folks. We've done it. We have solved the health crisis in this country. Yes. We're going to make Coca-Cola great again. What a day. Let's all take the rest of the day off and just celebrate in the streets. If that isn't absurd enough, and I can't play you the whole thing because it's like 5 minutes long. They had a panel, and they were all elated and jumping up and down talking about how great it's going to be and the health benefits. But let me play just the beginning of this for you.
So it is the real thing. President Trump says he spoke with Coca-Cola about bringing real cane sugar back to its U.S. products. And the president posted on Truth Social, this will be a very good move by them. You'll see, it's just better. The switch would make the Coke you drink now similar to offerings around the globe. Other countries such as Mexico, Australia already use cane sugar, unlike the U.S., which has used high fructose corn syrup since the 1980s. Although the president said they agreed to make the switch, Coca-Cola has yet to confirm the change. However, they did release an initial statement saying they appreciate Trump for his enthusiasm for the brand, but later clarified their usage of high fructose corn syrup, saying, quote, the name sounds complex, but high fructose...
Oh, enough of that. I know I got a sound effect here. There you go. Oh, man. Does it get any more stupid than that? First, they're going to save the world, and then they say, but Coca-Cola's dead. They haven't really committed to do it yet. And that is the national health news from yesterday. We're done, folks. Somebody is missing the point somewhere. Coca-Cola, I don't care if it's got high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, beet juice, maltodextrin, whatever it is, it's still sugar. It's still killing people. But boy, have they got a ton of money and lobbyists. So once again, my hopes are becoming more and more dashed on the rocks every single time. And if you want to really get nuts, find that thing from yesterday on Fox News. It's on YouTube. Find that thing. Watch the whole story while you see these giddy info babes, legs obligatorily crossed to show them off. each one looking hotter than the next one. Bubbleheads. God, I can't believe that's what we've been reduced to in this country as far as breaking news. Maybe, I like Trump, but there's things about him that I just don't understand. And the second, almost immediately after I saw that, it was a report that Trump is having health problems, circulatory problems in his legs. That was another story. And, of course, the press spokesman babe at the White House basically read a statement saying from the doctors and everything that, yes, people over 70 often have swollen ankles and things because of, I forget the exact term they used for it. But he doesn't have heart problems. He's very healthy and everything. And I think he's okay. He's just typically a victim of the standard American diet. Oh, and they said this doctor's recommended that he stop eating McDonald's because one of the first things they told him to do is stop eating salt. The jury is out, in my opinion, on whether that's good advice or not. Stop eating all the other shit and eat salt. Stop eating the grains. Stop eating the sugars. Stop eating processed foods. Eat meat. And you want to scream at these people. They got to be hearing it from somewhere. They talked about RFK. I think he's probably maybe among the most frustrated in that he is now coming up against the machine. And the machine is determined to keep making money, selling us crap, making us sick, so that the medical community machine can continue to own more and more of our life and our money and keep us alive as long as possible, artificially with drugs and things, treatments, so they can keep owning us until, unfortunately, they have to give up. But the good news for them is there's a lot of new blood coming into the system that is aged 50, 55, and they'll be around for a long time. You can keep these people alive for a long time. Oh, they're going to suffer. They're going to suffer. But you'll make the money off of them. And that's what we got. That's what we got. That's why we have to recognize it for what it is and realize, especially me, I'm here on YouTube. I'm not going to change the world. I'm not going to change squat on a national level. But by God, the group of us that are here, we're going to take care of ourselves and hopefully can somehow rope the people we love and care about into it, because they're fighting us too. Not because of money, not because of any outside force. It's because of their own addiction. So we're all getting, the battle is coming from all directions, and nobody is really addressing or making public or even talking about the root cause of any of it. So like the medical community, we are basically just yelling and debating how to better take care of the symptoms. And we'll never fix it. Cane sugar rises again. Says B, who is at it? Cut it off for me on the chat. Oh, no, let me see if I can find that. Well, I'll find it later when I get down to it, but if I do. Super chat, thank you so much. Maybe if I make it wider, I can see what it was. Hold on a second, let me see. It's going to look funny on your screen, but it is Barry. Barry Simon, how you doing? Barry, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now I make it narrower again, so I don't cut any of it off. I think that looks about right. Am I cutting off any words? No. Okay. Barry Simon, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I don't think I have anything else. But Trump is getting some bruising. I get some too. Yeah, you can still see here on my arm. There's a I don't know if you can see it or not. It's right here. Do you see that? Yeah, there it is. There it is. See that thing? It looks darker on the camera than it looks in person. That's almost gone. I'm taking, aspirin because of the stroke. That's about the only thing I take. And one of the problems, thins out your blood a little. And when you get older, you bruise real easily. You bump into something, you get a bruise, and it takes about 4 or 5 days to go away, and it goes away. My skin is amazingly clear for somebody my age, and I thank Carnivore for that. But Trump evidently has been seen. He was seen by the press, and there's a photograph of it. He had a flesh-colored bandage all over the back of his hand, and he's getting bruising. And they also said that wasn't a serious thing. But the man is almost 80 years old, for God's sake. You can't just get older and older and older and not stop and not look like you're not 30 anymore. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. But there are signs. Edema in the ankles is a sign of problems, circulatory problems, or heart failure or something like that. The body's inability to get the fluids out of the places that are most affected by gravity. And that's why they tell old people, you wear tight socks. It helps squeeze the blood back up to the heart. You keep your feet elevated a lot so the blood doesn't have to fight to go uphill. And this happens to a lot of people. Luckily for me, I had a little edema in my right leg, which was caused by the stroke and the numbness and the fact that I could hardly feel it. I'm sure the circulation won't, but it's going away now. My right ankle doesn't swell at all anymore. That's a great sign of recovery. It's also a great sign that my heart's working. My left ankle never did swell once I became a carnivore. I was getting edema. I was already starting to exhibit those signs of aging until I went carnivore. And when I see all the people that live here in this community with me that are 55 and older, the majority of them have cankles. They have swollen ankles, some of them severely. That's all caused by the root cause, and that is improper nutrition or malnutrition. But nobody's telling them that. They're giving them Lasix. They're giving them all kinds of medical advice. Keep your feet elevated, all that. Meanwhile, some of these people are in worse shape than me after my stroke. It's and just from poisoning themselves all their lives. So at any rate, President Trump's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. No fear, he won't live out his term. Some of you people probably are wishing for him to get sick and die, but that's just normal. It's just normal. You can't help that. So if I could get in front of him and ran on him for a couple hours, it wouldn't make any difference. Just like when you try to do with your loved ones. We can't convince people not to believe their doctors and follow their addictions. We can't. People have to have an epiphany. They have to see the light, and it has to come from them, not from outside. Something has to get them thinking again and making conclusions rather than just listening to the noise. Well, I'm reading the chat. Everybody's talking about lipedema. Bart K interviewed me in 2022. I know Bart K. I know Bart K too. And let me tell you something. Bart K is a brilliant man. A brilliant man. But none of us, me especially, are right about everything. And I think that Bart is probably, in a lot of cases, just repeating what he has been taught and not things that he has discovered on his own. There's a big difference, because if you are just repeating something that you believe, that maybe you heard in college in your PhD program from somebody else to say, you are not, it's not your thought. You are just parroting their thought, and it makes sense to you, but that doesn't mean you're right. Just as if you have a hypothesis that, no, it's this way, that doesn't mean you're right either. So there are people that are just cocksure of themselves and are unwilling to even listen to a differing opinion. That closed-mindedness stifles real discovery. And anybody who doesn't understand what I'm talking about should rewatch, honestly. Kilts, I keep giving you plugs, should rewatch in its entirety Kilts' interview this morning with that young, I forgot his name offhand, that young scientist with that I know it all attitude. Kilts, what a great debater. I couldn't even talk to the guy. I would just say, go away. I don't want to hear it. I'm too old to fight with you. But Kilts was brilliant this morning and showed what a thinker he is. And the difference between a 70-year-old thinker and a 20-something know-it-all is the know-it-all may be right about everything he says, but he is parroting somebody else's thoughts. When Kilts talks about things, he is basically hypothesizing about his own conclusions and the reasons why. You know what that's called? That's called wisdom, and it only comes with age. Because that 20-something know-it-all scientist, as smart as he was, and right about almost everything he said, his brain has not completely grown yet. And his ability for critical thinking will not come until much later in his life. Though those connections are not there. He's nothing more than a database at this time that can consume a bunch of data and regurgitate it on command. But the actual critical thinking doesn't even start to ramp up until 25 years of age, and that is a proven scientific fact. And I look back at my youth, and I can't dispute that. I can't dispute. I thought I knew it all. I thought I knew it all. And the most important and the most valuable lesson I ever learned in my young life, I don't even remember where I heard it, was a saying. And it's very simple. And you have to think about it. And it goes, it's what you learn after you think you know it all that does you the most good. It's what you learn after you think you know it all that does you the most good. And the older these kids, these know-it-all kids get, the more and more they finally realize just exactly how much they don't know. And the older you get, the more you realize. And that separates people into those who just don't care, or those who are inquisitive and are constantly questioning the status quo and wanting to learn more and more and new things every day up until the day they die. I am definitely one of those guys. Sometimes I wish I wasn't. It'd be a lot more relaxing. But this curiosity to find out how things are, why things are, it really adds a lot of interest to life. It's fascinating. It keeps your brain working. You don't end up in a nursing home. Peter says, Babs, I think what Dr. Kills and Mitch are saying is that Bart K, or his name was Ed Grug, are wrong, just that science is 100 years old and maybe not 100% accurate, just remain open-minded. Yes, but the know-it-alls don't want to hear it. That's the problem. The arrogance. You could hear it in their voices, the arrogance. Both of that kid on Kills this morning, the arrogance of Bart K. I love the guy. I think he's brilliant. I think if there's anybody that knows almost everything, it's him. But there's an arrogance there, a closed-mindedness. I already know everything. Quit trying to tell me what you think the truth is. It's absurd. It is the stuff reaction videos are made of. It's not the stuff debate is made of. I will not debate people like that. I don't want to even talk to people like that. It's too frustrating. And with my personality, I can't shut up long enough to listen to them spew the same shit that I've heard 100 other places from 100 other people who read the same thing that they did and think they're the most brilliant people in the world. Me, actually, I don't know shit about anything. I haven't seen enough, learned enough, thought enough yet. If I could live to be 10,000 years old, maybe I could start to claim to be an expert on this shit. All I have now is opinions. People don't recognize the difference in somebody who's so full of themselves that they can't be corrected. My mind is so open that I could change my mind on anything I've said. Anything I've said. If something comes along that makes more sense and finds fault or pokes holes that are actually believable in what I have said in the past, that's called an open mind. Ken Berry has an open mind. He gave up a medical practice because he finally woke up one day and said, what is this bullshit? How I'm hurting people. Every other doctor on the planet is still hurting people. Very few of them are waking up. They don't have that in them. Some of us do, and I believe it kills. And I like to think that I are those people. Don't just spew facts at us. I can get that off of Google. Half of them are dead wrong, but Google just spouts them out there as though they were the truth. That's not intelligence. That's being a big library. Know the difference. Listen to somebody's reasoning and logic behind what they say. Don't be convinced right away, but at least give it some thought. Give it a little thought. It's complicated shit. None of this biochemistry, basically, at that level of metabolic health is anything we can actually see. We have had to try to find ways to prove it is the way we think it is, but we can't see. We can't see ATP synthase, protein motors spinning away and making ATP. We don't have microscopes, even electron microscopes, that can see things at the molecular level like that. We have had to use many other ways, just like they do in astronomy, to detect things. Signs given by other things. So, yeah, we're smart, and yeah, we know things. And the problem with us as a human race is we're too smart, and we know too much, and we're going to blow up the whole world because of it. Anyway, another rant. Hey, I got to get a rant in every day. Let me get back to you guys. At any rate, I was a brilliant. Towards the end of it, last 20 minutes, were brilliant today. And Kelsey, congratulations, my friend, stood his ground in a gentlemanly and debate-like manner. I can't do that. So I don't want to talk to these guys. I don't want to debate them. I want to say, that's nice. You read all the books. Somehow you got a great memory. You put it all together, but it's still not your idea. It's an idea that you read or you got from somebody else, and you're just parroting it because maybe it makes sense to you. Grow up a little. You'd be amazed when you're 50, the difference in your thinking. So, young people, they're being young people. I was too. And you don't realize how wrong you were about so many things until you get to be old people. When it's too late to fix it or do anything about it or change it. And if I was instantly to be young again, there's no doubt in my mind I would make every single mistake that I did the first time, because my brain would be working the way it did back then. All of us. And this is another important thing, and this one is mine. I made this up. I'm sure somebody else has said it, but I try to give credit to people. This is my saying. So as not to be too hard on myself for mistakes that evident, like I lost my entire livelihood in computer business because I decided to take my computer business and partner with compact computers. Had I known what I know now, I would have never done that. I might not have made as much money for a while, but I never would have done it because after a few years of that, Compaq got bought by Hewlett-Packard. Hewlett-Packard didn't do partners like Compaq did, and I was out. And $20 million a year in revenue from my customer base was gone because they took it for themselves. And their answer to me was, well, yeah, nothing personal, Mitch. Business, it's just business. And I lost my computer business and eventually my marriage, and it damn near killed me. It was the end of my successful life. I didn't know that back then. So I said, well, Mitch, what are my choices? I either punish myself for that mistake or I come to terms with it. And I came up with this little concept. And I would say it to myself over and over again. And I tell other people who made a bad decision and it had horrible outcomes. I say, and think about this. This is mine. Sure, other people have said it, probably written it down, but I never read it anywhere. Every decision you make at the time you made it was the correct decision. Can't punish yourself. Every decision in life that you made at the time was the correct decision given the information you had. Get the concept? You can't punish yourself for making a decision that might have been made on inadequate information, phony information, because it wasn't your fault. Even if you were conned, at the time you make that decision, it seemed like the best decision. Every decision in my life that I made, looking back, was like that. Because things happen that we can't know about. I became a big home builder in Central Florida in the mid 80s. In the building boom, I was building $1 million houses. They had no market for them, but I didn't know that. We were being wined and dined by the banks, the realtors. Build another spec house, Mitch. We'll loan you $800,000, $1.2 million. Go right ahead. They weren't telling us. There was no market for that. They weren't telling us, and nobody knew. An economic crash of biblical proportions was coming down the road. We didn't know that. We didn't know anything. Crazy. And we all made the decision. I ended up with $5 million worth of spec houses that they couldn't sell. And the payments every month on those houses, as the economy started to crash and burn in the late 80s. Every builder in this major upscale community called Heathrow in Lake Mary, Florida, at the time, went bankrupt. Me right with them. It's like you might be the best swimmer in the world. It doesn't count for shit when that 200-foot tsunami wave comes through. It's going to sweep you, your fabulous swimming ability, and the buildings you're next to away. No chance. That's what that was like. No buyers. The federal government. That was the time of the savings and loan scandals, all of that crap. The federal government took over all of the loans and came after us for massive amounts of money because of the fraud and everything else of the government lending programs, and it filtered down to the banks. The savings loans went bankrupt. If you remember that, most of you may not have been alive then, but no, in my audience, most of you were. It was not a good time to be that much in debt with that much equity in unsold properties as you watch the value of your properties go from, say, $1.5 million down to about $200,000, and the government just came in and foreclosed everything. Did I make a bad decision going into the building business? At the time I made it, it seemed great. Who the hell could have foreseen that? So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And I picked myself up and I started a computer business because I like computers and it's always been a hobby of mine, and turned that into a raging success until that got stolen away from me by Hewlett Packard when they bought Compaq. Thank you, Carly Fiorina, who later ran for president. The woman that screwed me out of my entire life ran for president. Do you think I voted for her? Oh, I sued them for $20 million. And then I learned how crooked the judicial system is and how many payoffs these judges take. And when you try to sue a company as big as Hewlett Packard, they're not going to lose. They'll spend $10 million defending the suit instead of giving you a small amount of money to make you happy and make you whole, because they can't risk precedents. So my life has been full of stuff like that. Just major events coming along, major tsunamis coming along and just washing me away. And when the water settles, I swim back upstream until here I am, 78 years old, sitting in front of you guys on a Friday morning, talking about the carnivore diet and trying to make a few bucks to supplement my Social Security. Life is a real ride, my friends, and I've taken that ride. And I don't regret a thing. That's the funny part about it. I don't regret a thing. I have learned so much about so many things along the way that I like the sheer simplicity of my life now. That, to me, is something that I wish I had known when I was 20 years old, just to live a simple life. Me, I was always going for bigger, better, faster, more expensive toys, bigger houses, more gorgeous women. And look what happens. Look what happens. I'm not the only one either. I think it happens to more people than they want to admit. I'm not embarrassed to talk about it because every decision I made at the time I made it was the best decision I could have made under the circumstances. And that has been my rule of life since I first thought that way a long, long time ago. And maybe it's good advice for people that are just too hard on themselves. Maybe they just punish themselves too much. At any rate, maybe I should have been a philosopher. Maybe I am. Who knows? Who knows? But I have fun. I have fun. And here it is, 9:30, and I haven't even got started looking for questions yet. Wow, Mitch, talkative today. But I got a big audience. Got 150, 140, 50 people. Wow. Must be either you're completely ignoring me. Let me get this. You're either completely ignoring me or I'm saying something that resonates with you. And that's how you keep an audience in anything you do. If you're not talking about something that resonates with the people you're talking to, they're going to get bored, yawn, deer in the headlights look, and tune you out. You're a great community. Ellen is here. Hi, Ellen. How are you? Turamir, how are you, boss? Yes, at this late in the game. I'm fine. I'm fired up. I'm happy. I think my speech is coming out pretty good this morning. I feel great. I feel great. I'm going to take on the day. I I know I sound negative a lot, but I'm not negative. I'm a positive person. Sometimes I'm positive that so many people are morons, but that's not negative. I'm being positive. I'm positive that they are. And they prove it to me every single day. Laurie Wetzel said, "Isn't life funny, Rick?" Yeah, life is funny. It's tragic. It's easy. It's hard. Joyful. It's all those things. I think it's probably up to us to decide which one of those things we want to grab on and live on any given day. Even after the stroke, even after all the hardships I've had, the lunatic ex-wife hounded me for 20 years, and even after all of that stuff, when I sit down in my easy chair, I sigh a sigh of contentment. I'm happy. I may not have the biggest house. I'm not even the healthiest guy, but I'm very content, and content is what it's all about. You don't have to have everything. Laurie Russell, how's the privacy? I'm that far behind in the chat. Wow. Let me scream through here and look for some questions. We're already almost 20 to 10, and I haven't even basically started. But I hope some of the things that I said today, I hope some of my little spouting off and maybe even ranting, I hope somebody got something out of that, because those concepts that I talked about, I've gotten something positive, and I really wanted to show you the absurdity of where the rest of the world is right now in figuring out what it's going to take to make America healthy again. And when you see things like what they brag about on the news, you realize that not in this lifetime, not in the lifetime of babies that are born right about now, will they ever fix this problem if this is what they're concentrating on, making Coca-Cola healthy again. That, my friends, is an oxymoron. Coca-Cola can never be healthy by virtue of what it is. I don't care what you sweeten it with. Diet Coke isn't healthy either. And it has no, I repeat, no high fructose corn syrup. These people do not know how to think logically. They don't. And every one of their ideas is driven by the money of the biggest player behind it. Don't you think Coca-Cola had a real hand in crafting the message? And after all the hoorah, it turns out they never agreed to actually do it. Why are they bragging about it? Why are they bragging about the fact that the food companies have agreed that by the end of, say, 2027, that maybe they'll get the red dyes out of the food? That is not a victory. It's not a victory. It's a stall disguised as a victory. None of these things make any difference in the health of America. And none of their answers so far, with deference to Robert Kennedy, are going to change a damn thing. Question Meet to Mitch. Can you mention Francine's challenge? Yes, Francine challenged the members of the private community last night that next week, all of our lovely Canadian ladies come into the stream, and we basically have a Canadian lady night on the Old Guy Carnivore private channel stream on Thursday night. So there you go, ladies. You've officially been challenged. Lorraine says, what channel? What challenge? There you go. There you go. People were talking about last night. All right. Let me see. I don't want to miss any questions. And if I do, and it was something that really, you really want to know, email me. I'll try to answer it for you. It doesn't get lost in 1,000 other comments that way. Mike Breger. Thank you, Mike. This is a high compliment. And of course, I can't overlook a compliment, can I? What else have I got to go on here? Mitch, one reason I listen to you is because you are one smart MF, and we all know what that means. And I love smart people. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. You must, and if you recognize that, you too, my friend, are a brilliant man. A brilliant man, with a perceptive man, a gentleman, and a scholar. Unfortunately, there's damn few of us left. Yes, sir. All right, I'm going to scroll, answer questions. I don't mind going to 10 o'clock, but I don't like to go much after that because I got to start thinking about working. I can't be playing here all morning. I got to get to work. Got to make videos. Got to cook meals. Got to do all kinds of stuff. And I do this every day, so it's not like you all don't get enough of me. How do you like the shirt today? Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, this is another shirt. Another shirt that I have. Look at this. Oh, is that colorful? Is that colorful or what? I'll keep them coming. I haven't even, well, I maybe just made a dent so far this week. But this tropical shirt thing is kind of fun. Gives me a chance to get some of these old shirts out of the back of the closet. And Ricky gave me a super chat. Says Dollar Tree Coffee. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate that so much. I didn't see. I saw it go by, but I was in the middle of pontificating about something. I'm going to look forward to when I watch the replay of this and reading these different chats, because I do get a kick. And sometimes I can't read them all, but I really try to. And I still do read every comment that everybody makes on any video that I put out there. Something that is kind of rare these days, I think. Here's Tina says, just a statement. Today will be my first day without Diet Coke. None in the house. Bring on the headache, I'm sure. Yeah, if you are that addicted, and it's more than likely the caffeine in it, it's better to wean off of those things than go cold turkey. And you can do that by getting some carbonated water, San Pellegrino or Topo Chico or something like that, and diluting it a little first and more until all you're drinking is the carbonated water and there's nothing left of the Diet Coke. And do that over a period of a couple of weeks, and you won't get the headaches. So if you do get a severe headache today, Tina, I would recommend it. You just go out and get a Diet Coke. And get enough that you can mix it with carbonated water for a week or two and wean off of it slowly. And you can do the same with coffee, too, if you want to. You can, it might be hard, but you can make some decaf and some regular and start to increase the ratio of the amount of decaf you use to the amount of caffeinated coffee every day. And you're still drinking coffee. And you won't notice the difference and have a real headache withdrawal reaction if it happens over time. They try to do that for people that quit smoking cigarettes. They give them nicotine patches. The problem is, as long as you never cure the nicotine addiction. So instead of being addicted to cigarettes, you can't live without the nicotine patches, one or the other. That's not my idea of how to quit smoking. You have to wean yourself, titrate down. Start, if you're a 2-pack-a-day smoker, start by cutting out one cigarette every day for a month and a half or two. And maybe you could do it. Maybe you couldn't. But they wouldn't sell a lot of nicotine patches if you did that. So the nicotine patch industry would fight you tooth and nail, telling people why. That's the only way to quit smoking is nicotine patches. And since we own the government already, let's get with every one of these states, because they have a quit smoking program, and let's get them to base it around our nicotine patch. Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll make a fortune. But is it the right thing for the people? Yeah, think so. We think so. That's the way the world works. It's certainly the way it works now, and nobody's going to change that. Every man for himself. CB is here. He says, CB Mitch, they also started blaming age with the last president's cognitive decline, and you were the first to pop in my mind. Yes, not everybody that's pushing 80 is suffering from not like a severe dementia. No, we don't have to. Eat fat. Eat enough fat, and your brain will have the building materials, and your body will be able to make energy. So the root cause of all of it right now, at this point in our time, and just think about and listen to what Kiltz is saying. Yeah, I know nobody likes to eat just raw meat and fat, and we get by maybe cooking it. I'm trying to get a little more raw each time because I'm not ready to just make that change all at once. But just like I got adapted and ended up loving black coffee, which I couldn't stand the first time I drank it, you can move over to something instead of just jumping over to it. So I'm starting to listen to Kills, and he makes sense about that. And he gave an analogy this morning that I thought was great. He said, your house can burn, and maybe it'll still be okay to live in, but is it better to live in a house that's been on fire or one that hasn't been on fire? And that's what happens to the food when we heat it up too much. And I think that makes sense. That the heat can't enhance the nutrients, it can only destroy them. Now, I may be completely wrong. There may be something going on that heat actually makes the nutrients more nutritious for some reason. That can be just as well justified in evolutionary things because humans have been cooking meat with fire. Why did they do that? What is it? What evolutionary benefit came? And did the humans who cooked their meat end up being the majority of humans, which, if you know evolution, how it works, you would say, well, evidently that exerted the greatest amount of survival pressure. And maybe cooking the meat turns out to be better for us than eating it raw. That's called, it's like an internal debate with yourself. That's logical thinking. I don't know for sure. Nobody ends up really knowing for sure. Nobody can do tests and studies. There's too many variables. So you make your best guess. But I want to try to eat more rare meat. I don't know if I'm ready to start. In fact, that you probably better not start looking for, when you're driving by a pasture somewhere and there's a bunch of cows in it. Don't say, well, Mitch is probably in there biting a cow. Chances are that won't be happening. Like I can pretty well guarantee you that Mitch is not going to be out there biting cows. Not anytime soon. I'm trying to even talk. There he is. There's Ricky's. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate it. Dollar Tree coffee. Well, it's just close. It's Sam's Club, but that cafe is pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. I love it. All right, I'm going to keep doing this for a little while. I'll get through it. I'm going pretty fast. I'm not really reading these things. I'm sure I'm going past. I see Kiltz's name. Kiltz was disagreeing to agreeing. Weird in my book. Josephine, that is one of the greatest. Let me explain to you what he was doing. The greatest debating tactics or sales, because the debate is a sales pitch. Good debaters are master salesmen. They're not trying to sell you a product. They're trying to sell you their point of view. So think about this. You're standing in front of somebody who you ardently disagree with, face to face. You're yelling at them, they yell at you, and you yell at them and they yell at you, you get more aggravated. This is me trying to debate, okay? I just don't have the patience for it. But if you maybe haven't been beaten to hell like I have all my life, maybe you'd have the patience for it. But I don't have the patience anymore for that. It's a good thing because it keeps me from getting into things that eventually end up very aggravating. But if you've got people, it's a confrontation. Now, if one of you walks over and stands next to your opponent and says, and think carefully about this, because this is the greatest technique I've ever learned in all the sales training that I've had all my life, of how to overcome people, their anger, their objections, and everything else. You stand next to them and you look at them and you say, I can see how you feel. And I didn't invent this. A man named J. Douglas Edwards came up with this technique a long time ago. One of the greatest sales trainers that ever walked the face of the earth, J. Douglas Edwards. And if you're a salesman or you sell anything, I would immediately go and get every book he ever wrote, every videotape he ever made. The guy was a genius. He invented most of the closing techniques that are just common in every sales organization. And that's what a debate is. Two people trying to sell their ideas to each other or to a crowd of people that they're debating in front of. I can see how you might feel that way. I used to feel exactly the same way. I did. I felt just like you until I found out. Boom. You tell them what changed your mind. You're not arguing now. You're on their side. You're just like them. They lower their guard. They identify with you. Well, this guy's just like me. He used to feel that too. But he found out. What'd you find out? What'd you find out? And you tell them. And that's how you win a debate. But even if you don't win the debate, it sounds like you're agreeing with them. And that's what you heard Kiltz doing this morning, but you didn't realize what he was doing. He knows this. He's learned these techniques somewhere along the line. He knows how to disarm people, how to get them on your side, and get them to open their minds to your way of thinking. And that's what Kiltz does. He got this guy to open his mind to Kiltz's thinking, and then Kiltz said, "Well, I don't know. I just hypothesize." So he wasn't telling the guy in any way, shape, or form, "You're wrong. You're stupid. You're a moron. Shut your face. Get out of here." He was saying, "I agree with you. I understand. I know how you could think that way. I thought that way too until I thought about this other thing, and I'm just hypothesizing." And he leaves it at that. So there was no fight, no argument, and anything else. And yeah, that's how a debate is done by a master. I'll skip the obvious joke that could be told right now, but it might be a little off color. But Kiltz is a master at this, and I'll leave the word debater out of it. So, here we are at 10 o'clock almost, 5 minutes to 10. Have I got, I hope you find, I guess you must. Got 155 people here. Is that 155, 135 people here? God, my stupid glass, 135. Yeah, the 3s and the 5s look the same. I need new glasses. I need to make a road trip. The eye center I use is at Costco, and I hate to get involved in until I recover a little more in that. But I'm going to have to do it pretty soon. I'm going to have to go. So you'll have to pardon me. I have to maybe try to look through different lenses and focus. But my lenses are basically too strong, and it's very. I can see clearer if I take them off, honest to God, but everything, I see 2 or 3 of everything. And it's impossible to read like that because they're all one on top of another. Make it blurry. Yeah, CB, he says, Mitch, you're just like me, can't debate because it just raises my blood pressure. Yeah, I don't have the patience for it anymore. I do not have the patience. I can teach people things as long as they don't start arguing with me. And the minute they start arguing with me, I say, you know what? If you're not here to learn, why don't you go somewhere else? I don't care. I don't care what the hell you do. I don't care what the hell you think. No skin off my back. I honestly don't care if people don't agree with me. It makes no difference. I always have a disclaimer. I may be wrong. I even may doubt it. But that doesn't leave the fact that I might be wrong totally out of consideration. There are people out there that'll argue with you that the earth is flat and argue all day. Well, I think we're all pretty much convinced the earth is round, but they still want to argue. Can I prove to them the earth is round? No. They've all seen everything I could tell them they've seen before. They're just convinced. It's their ideology. It's their religion. You will not talk them out of it. No matter what you say, you end up playing whack-a-mole with them. They got all the pat answers. I'd explain this. I'd explain that. And every time you explain something to them, they go, oh, that's okay. Well, maybe so. But how do you explain this now? And you enter into a never-ending, frustrating argument with an absolute moron that has no power of cognitive and critical thinking. His mind is made up. Don't confuse him with facts. We've all heard that expression. So, avoid those people. I try to. You leave comments on my videos that are like that. I just remove them. I've been trolled in my video comments by some cyber currency bullshit, putting 30, 40 comments, all coming from different people. I report them all to YouTube. That's the best I can do. If it gets too bad, I'm going to have to leave them there. I can't keep cleaning them out. It takes a lot of time. Spent a half an hour yesterday cleaning this shit out of the comments. The world is full of morons and sociopaths. You have to learn how to live with them. You can't change them. You can't tell them, oh, please stop spamming my chats. I fully expect it would happen in 2 days in a row. The second day, there was more of them than the first day, and they're trying to get people to buy their version of Bitcoin. I don't even want to mention a name. And I'm not going to have that that's not what my chat is for, because people will read the comments on my videos, not the chat like this chat, but the comments on my videos. Don't want to have to go through 10 spam ads for cyber currency to get to one comment. So I try to clean them out, keep hiding these different users. They evidently have a network set up of people who spam it all at the same time, and it's probably all done by computer, and it's the way they get their message out. Well, that's great, but it's not. Mitch, I want to avoid forearm bruising. I'm hopeful Carnivore can now stave that off. What causes that a lot of things. Thinner skin, thinner blood, less robust cell walls. Could be all kinds of things. They talked about that also yesterday. But best way to avoid bruising is don't bump into things. I found that to be true because you want to bruise. And my arms are pretty clear. I mean, I after 4.5 months, the first couple of months of banging into door frames with my elbows and arms sticking out from the wheelchair, I looked like I'd been in a car accident. But they're all gone. And I know when I banged this last one on my forearm here, I know when I did that, I said, oh God, that's going to be a bruise. And it is. But my bruising is decreasing as I recover and get back on a really clean, what I think is as clean as I can do, clean carnivore. What time are we? 9:38. All right. I'm catching up. Going very fast through the chat. Very fast. I'm going to look for the last minute questions. While I do that, let me play a little happy music for you. And you can start saying goodbye to your friends. I will be back Sunday morning. And we're going to do an open panel again, like we did last Sunday. It was great and great fun. And I'll look forward to that. So Sunday morning, going to take tomorrow morning off, pop in and visit Rick a little bit, and do my thing. I'll miss you. I got used to this, but today's the 6th day in a row. 6 loud tropical shirt in a row. I don't know where the week went, but it's gone. Laurie Weissel, my compliment radar was there. Saw this one. Laurie Weissel says, how is it possible Mitch is wiser by the minute? Well, let's hope we all get wiser by the minute. The way to do that is constantly think. Don't ever stop thinking. Don't ever just stop being inquisitive. And thank you for that. That is a greater compliment to me than you could ever imagine, Laurie. I appreciate it. Gemma says older and wiser. That usually goes hand in hand. If your brain still works, your brain stops working, you're not going to get any more wise. I don't see any more questions here. I'm running. 10 minutes behind. I'm going fast now. I tend to stop and read everything. The song ended. Okay, you all ought to be sufficiently happy by now after a song like that. I think there weren't any more late questions, but there's chat's still chatting. Holy mackerel. 117 people. Okay. Some of the people are starting to give up and realize that the end of the stream is coming. I don't blame them. I'm ready to go too and get on with my day. There it is. Last entry. Rick. I'm always happy to see Mitch in the morning. Thank you, Rick. Another compliment. Very good. So my friends, I'll put that happy music on again to play us out. Because I like that. I never get tired of hearing that. Everybody saying goodbye. That's great. A lot of waving going on in the chat. I just thought what music in the chat was over. Now we're still here. I faked you out today. Fooled you. All right, guys. I won't drag it out any longer. Listen, my friends, have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. Have a great life. Have a great life. I am. But most importantly, do not ever forget to take the rest of the day off and eat meat.